After 3 years of being cut off, I drove Highway 1 through Big Sur to see what the isolation had done to this place. This whole area was where the highway had to be closed for 3 years because where the landslide happened, the highway was just like totally destroyed. To get food, they basically had to have it lifted in by helicopter.
Yeah, 3 years.
The highway was just gone. Businesses lost about 70% of their business.
You can't really get here very easy.
You can see the whole thing is covered up in net. Pretty wild.
They couldn't meet you over there and give you stuff to get to the other side. 2.5, 3 hours to get, around 120 miles.
No recording? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
No. There's only a few places you can even get gas in Big Sur. $7.99 for 87. It's wild to think how a natural disaster that just caused a relatively small part of a highway to vanish could impact a whole area for 3 years plus. That's amazing to hear about.
I did Route 66 down to Santa Monica and then coming up.
The stretch of road that's going over here, Highway 1, covers what many people have called the most beautiful drive in the US and quite a few have called the most beautiful drive in the world. So seeing it firsthand, I'm kind of getting it now. Alrighty, just up that way, Big Sur officially begins right here. We're over at a beach called Monastery Beach, making a little stop. Is this a pretty good spot for seashells?
No,
not really.
There's not a lot of seashells right now. It's sandy and there's some crab shells probably, but I'm not seeing a whole lot. There might be an agate, just don't get down in the water. I mean, I'm used to it, but yeah, you can.
I'm dog friendly. Are you local by chance?
I was raised here, but I haven't been here consistently, but what can I help?
So Big Sur had the highway closed for a while.
It did.
I've been looking for people's accounts of what it's been like.
You know what? Yeah. I haven't been here for that. But, I think that it was closed for a very long time. And Big Sur is beautiful. We used to have students at Carmel High School that lived down there. Yeah, we moved away when we were just out of college. So it would be impossible to move back now, I'm sure, but it is gorgeous. Enjoy your Big Sur drive.
Okay, have a good one. Even before officially entering Big Sur, it already feels like you're so far out here. Other than the constant traffic on the highway, it's pretty much a natural paradise over here. Okay, it's a Monday, but everything I just said about there being no one out here was just wrong apparently, because this is a state park, Point Lobos State Park, and the parking lot is full. So much so that the overflow parking is also full. So basically right here, this is the very beginning of Big Sur. It's still a little busier than the rest of it. And the part that was closed was much further down the way. The people up here might have been impacted a little bit by it, but to really get an understanding of the scope and how it impacted people living further out, we've got to keep going down this road quite a few miles. But over here, it's really just a few more miles from Point Lobos back up that way. There's another state park, Garrapata State Park. 3 cars parked here. Do you all happen to be from around here, from Big Sur?
Yeah, we actually live in Carmel Highlands.
I'm David. Nice to meet both of you.
Tim and Angela.
Tim, Angela, pleasure. I've been looking for some local opinions or just people talking about what happened when the road was closed, but I guess Nothing for you. You live up here, so.
We live about 2 miles from here.
Right. I gotta find people that live way south, I guess.
Yeah. Well, the problem is you didn't have a choice.
Okay.
They couldn't even take stuff, they couldn't meet you over there and give you stuff to get to the other side.
Okay.
So you would have, you'd have to go through Cambria and San Luis Obispo to get around.
Extra few hours at least, right?
Yeah. From there, it's probably 2.5, 3 hours to get, around.
Massive circle.
Yeah, it's about 120 miles. But there's grocery stuff and everything down there too.
Okay.
But the problem is if you worked in Big Sur or something, which or did something like that, you're looking for another job.
Okay, so Carmel Highlands, it didn't really impact you much unless someone was working down there.
No, it was all the way down there. So even Big Sur, have you been to Big Sur yet?
No, it's our first time here. I'm so excited to drive down this highway right now. Yeah.
River End, if you want to go have some.
River End.
It's called the River End.
Okay.
It's on the right-hand side, and it's too cold right now, but you can fit in the creek. It was built back in the 30s. Wasn't it the 30s?
Yeah, it's all
some history there.
Yeah, there's
a
lot of history
there. Nice.
There's photos of back in the day.
It's hard to leave California once you come here, though. It's so pretty.
No, you can't beat the
this is gorgeous.
It's one of the last few places it's untouched.
Yeah, it's not like Southern California where they build homes all across the state.
I noticed that the nature really changes. Actually, just coming from Carmel Highlands, much drier here, right?
Yeah, and the further you go out, it'll get warmer. And kind of where we live, you still get a lot of the marine layer.
Yeah.
But then it'll get drier and drier the further you go out.
Okay.
We went up this back trail.
Yeah.
and you'll see all kinds of cactus and stuff.
Wow.
Just watch out for the poison oak. Yeah, we have it everywhere.
Okay.
You'll see it. It's like these hills right here. So you just want to watch out.
This little plant is poison oak?
Yeah, it's a baby one. You see that in their salad, don't eat it.
So absolutely beautiful place here. Very glad that I stopped to ask a few locals about it, just because as a first timer out here, I really did fail to see that there was a bunch of poison oak on the side of the trail. So that can give you a pretty nasty rash. But we're just getting started, so let's keep this drive going. Onwards. Now, as we keep driving down Highway 1, I want to take a minute to talk about the sponsor of today's video, Surfshark. Surfshark is a VPN, so it encrypts your internet connection and lets you connect through servers in different locations around the world. That's extremely useful while traveling, when you need to connect to Wi-Fi in an airport, at a hotel, or somewhere else. And I also personally use it to access websites and services from countries different than the one where I happen to be. I pretty much never travel without it. But a really cool Surfshark feature I've been using recently isn't their VPN. It's something called Alternative ID. Alternative ID lets you create a completely separate online identity, an alternate name, alternate email address, so you don't have to give your real information to every website that asks for it. But here's the part that's especially useful when you're traveling in the US. Alternative ID lets you generate your own US phone number. If you've ever spent any amount of time traveling in the US, you know how useful that can be. There are so many apps, websites, restaurants, services, and other things that ask you for a US phone number. Sometimes just to create an account, and sometimes to send you a verification number. If you're visiting from another country and don't happen to have a US number, that can be a huge pain. And even if you do have your own US number, giving it out everywhere can mean getting spam calls and other unwanted contact. With Alternative ID, you have a completely separate US number for those kinds of situations without having to give out your personal number. I really love what Surfshark has done here, giving me the ability to keep my personal identity personal. So if I'm signing up for some random website while traveling and I don't necessarily want it to have my real email address and phone number, I can just use my Alternative ID instead. It's basically another layer between your real contact information and all the random websites you end up dealing with when you're traveling. Plus, every Surfshark VPN subscription automatically comes with Alternative ID too. So if you want to check out Surfshark and Alternative ID, I've dropped you a link down in the description. Thank you so much to Surfshark for sponsoring this video, and now that you know how to keep your personal information a little more private while traveling in the US, we've got the rest of Highway 1 to drive. And this is really like just one of the most famous stretches of highway in the world right here. But you can also see how it might be prone to rock slides, like what caused that part of the road to be closed for a long time. I'm really kind of surprised it's just a Monday. I thought it would be less busy here. I can't even imagine if I had come here yesterday on the weekend. But there were just no places to park really at all, where it's the Bixby Bridge, a few other bridges that are very well known, and right next to the side of a cliff. No guardrails, none of that kind of stuff. But all right, we're gonna walk up the way. I guess you do get a really nice view out to the bridge over here. Just gotta be very careful if you're walking on the street in Big Sur, I think, because that's what's right next to me.
They're guaranteed to slow down. Assholes go past.
Get my AR-15 out. No,
Yeah,
I was just playing.
yeah,
I was just.
no, that works.
Yeah.
50 cal.
From Ohio?
Yeah.
I'm David, man. Nice to meet you.
10. Yeah, we're
10.
from Toledo.
Toledo. Okay, cool.
Home of the Jeep.
Home of the Jeep. I was there one time driving through. I stopped at a restaurant and then I left.
And you got there and said, we got to get out of here.
Take care, man.
care.
Yeah, have a good day. So here, the much more popular parking lot. Let's see the difference. Main difference is the Bixby Bridge and all of that. Still the same thing though, like a straight fall off the cliff. Amazing. Okay, walking back on the road again. Honestly, I don't recommend that you do this. It's pretty dangerous because there's a curve right there. They might not be looking. And this is like the really busy part of Highway 1 where tourists are coming in from the Bay Area, right? But it gets wild. People actually have houses down on the cliffs, basically. That's so cool. You can at least see 3 of them from here. That one's kind of half visible. I mean, could you imagine living in a place like this? Pretty special. But continuing our drive slowly, You can see a few beaches there. Then we'll pass that little hill or small mountain range and keep going to see what's on the other side. One weird thing I hadn't realized on the way, a lot of places in the United States, beach access is automatically public space. I guess that's not the case in California, because here there's a bunch of signs saying this is private property, keep out, trespassing and loitering forbidden by law. El Sur Ranch, so I guess they're the owners. And then down there's the beautiful Pacific beach that they have. Not 100% sure if that's on their property or not, but I don't see how you'd access it, at least from here. Porsche, Kia, Ford, tank service, BMW, Nissan of some kind, a Chevy, and a Toyota. Another Toyota, another Ford. Turn green, please. And there's now like a huge line of cars behind me. So you can see everybody waiting. And it's green, time to go. Okay guys, now I'm trying to make a little stop at a place that's been recommended to me by literally everyone I told I was visiting Big Sur. It's the Inn Motel over here. And earlier, right, I was trying to point out the types of cars. I feel like it was maybe slightly misrepresentative of what I was trying to point out though, but this parking lot does a little bit of a better job. Porsche, California, okay, Chevy, California, Aston Martin, California. I was about to pull into the space and I was like, that's not the type of car that I want to scratch. Aston Martin, California again. There's like an insane amount of wealth out here between both visitors and the people that live here. And talking about cars, there's only a few places you can even get gas in Big Sur. This one over here, the Valero station, is charging, oh, let's see. Okay, $7.99 for 87, $8.19.89, $8.39. By the time this video gets edited and out, gas prices might well have risen a lot more in the US, but that's about $2 or even $2.20 more than you'd find just over the way in like Carmel or Monterey. Okay. This place is supposed to be kind of legendary. Let's see. Walking in, you definitely get the smell of someone barbecuing something like that. Probably not going to eat here since I'm carrying a ton of food, but I want to see how are the prices looking. Okay. So like with a tip, oh, for a sandwich, you could get breakfast here with everything all in. It'd probably cost you about 30 bucks with a cup of coffee. Lunch, maybe 40, maybe 50. That's per person. So yeah, Big Sur's just not cheap. It's like out there. But this inn looks like a nice little place. You got a pool over here. The river runs through it and you can eat your lunch or drink your coffee with your feet in the river water. It's just a little bit cold this time of year. Okay, it's frigid. It's freezing. It's almost ice.
Really
no.
cold.
Yeah. Do you all come here in the summer and like eat lunch with your feet in the water? Or?
Yeah, she lives here.
Oh, okay. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Cool. So a very chill place. Also, that's what the inn looks like. It's not like a luxury type place. I don't think it's probably that cheap to stay here, but it's very cool. There's just nowhere else like this. Hey there, I don't want to be a bother, but I saw you're probably local here, I think, right? Mm-hmm. I'm doing a little video about how business has been recovering.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I don't want to do that.
Big Sur Roadhouse. Wow. Hey, how are y'all doing? No recording? Okay. And just up the way, I've made another stop. I'm actually a little surprised. A lot of people do not want to go on camera talking about this, but I just got a lot more information on exactly how things really looked over here in Big Sur during the closure and how they're changing. And actually, I can just point it out on this map for you. So the North Coast is what I've driven most of now. I'm stopped right here, actually. I think it's the Big Sur Station Visitor Center. All the businesses on this part going down into the Central Coast, all the way down to Big Creek, lost somewhere between 30 and 35% of their business. This whole area was where the highway had to be closed for 3 years because, yeah, the landslide just completely destroyed it. And apparently rebuilding that part of the highway was actually incredibly challenging, requiring a ton of different remote bulldozers and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, everything south of that was just like detrimentally impacted in terms of business. About 70% of business lost. A fair amount of places apparently had to close as well. And I nearly forgot, one of the craziest parts of the whole story is that there are actually people who live in between these areas. And there was no way in and out for them to get food. They basically had to have it lifted in by helicopter or hike out, which I guess is a pretty long hike. So until now, we've just been on the North Coast that you see highlighted here. Now we're about to get to the Central Coast and see a little bit more of what the impact has actually been like, because They just reopened the road just a few months ago. Also over here in the forest, I didn't manage to film it, but there are a few kind of famous hotels out here. The Alila, Ventana Sur, it's owned by Hyatt, and then there's across the street from it, the even more famous Post Ranch Inn. Let me reiterate that Big Sur just is not a cheap place, and the deeper I got into it, the more I started to realize just how exclusive it can feel. Even a quick stop somewhere that was once associated with the hippie movement felt to me like it was catering to ultra-wealthy clientele. But regardless, at the time of my visit, business seemed to be going well. This was actually the very first week this particular place had reopened after the highway closure. From here on out, though, Big Sur starts to feel much more secluded. Along the road, you can see plenty of signs of past landslides. There's a landslide here. And for much longer stretches, you really feel far from everything. Eucalyptus. And now it's waterfall time. Just a little bit of space here. You get over to the small foliage area and then it's like straight down. Waterfall. Exactly the type of place you think of when you think of Big Sur, really. Now we're getting into the Big Creek section here. And you can see the white up on the road. That's the new road. Let's check it out up close. It's like very jagged rock. And there's even a few small stones down here, so that rock is just kind of falling down every now and then. I guess it was just a really big landslide they had that caused the whole highway to just find its way somewhere down there. I mean, you can see rock that's continuously fallen off of these cliffs for probably millions of years, so that's just how it is here in Big Sur. It's kind of wild because, well, before these two other cars came that just showed up here, you can like hear a little bit of cracking up in the rock. So yeah, maybe I'm not gonna stand here for that long actually. It's wild to think how a natural disaster that just caused a relatively small part of a highway to vanish could impact a whole area for 3 years plus. Did you happen to come here during the 3 years that this part of the road was closed?
We tried. Well, we try to come up from the south side, from Cambria.
Oh, you did? Okay. What was that like?
I don't remember. I know
Okay.
we saw it on, in the news. But when we came up yesterday, checked it out, couldn't believe it because when you're on that side, I mean, you see it go all the way down to the water.
Wow.
So we thought this time we're going, but 3 years.
The highway was just gone.
Yeah, because we came up and stayed in Cambria last May, and we didn't try to come down this far.
Got you.
Up this far. Yeah.
Were you from north or south?
We're from, you're not from California. Up by Sacramento. Is that Washington?
Our plates are Arizona.
I knew I recognized the license plate.
Yeah, Arizona.
My sister lives there.
All right, now we're doing a little drive-by. You can see the whole thing is covered up in net. Pretty wild. And I don't know if the new road ends up here or it's just a different color. But after this point, cars couldn't reach here from the north or the south. So this was just like isolated for a while, for 3 years. Crazy. Okay, driving a little further, I found a better vantage point. Now you can really see how wide the landslide was. Basically, all of that brown section was the landslide and the highway that just crashed down into the ocean. I'm sure there's plenty of remnants of that still right over there in the water. And you see a little more of the bridge over there. It looks really cool. Plus, there is a landslide monitoring station. I don't know if I can make any sense of it, but yeah, landslide monitoring in progress. Please do not disturb. I hope my talking's not disturbing it. I don't think it is. Solar powered. And the other way, another hidden beach down there. It's wild. This one looks more like black sand, kind of volcanic or something. Too beautiful. And this whole area here just cut off from the world for 3 years. That's an adventurous guy. And when you get to a little place called Lucia, that kind of ends that isolated area, but Big Sur is just beautiful the whole way down. Classic. And there's just pullouts everywhere. It's nice. You can just kind of stop wherever you want. I just wanted to get a little bit of a closer look at these cliffs before I drive next to them. There's really a lot of shades of like orange, brown, and black in them. And by the way, back that way, just, I don't know, quarter mile or whatever, there's a campground. And that would have been a great budget option for us traveling, but it's pretty much always filled up months ahead. And it's kind of in a landslide zone, so there's that. That should be a crazy place to live.
Continuing through this stretch of Big Sur, its cliffs, wilderness, wildflowers, the vast Pacific beauty that this highway is world famous for. Along the way, you really get a bit of everything. Epic surf spots and the kind of view you'll probably see in the next Apple screensaver.
And getting into the southern part here, it just feels like the high altitude part really. I mean, you get views out to the Pacific still, but it's like way down there.
More cliffs, more windy road, and towards the end of Big Sur, we came across Ragged Point. I stopped in for a quick chat at the restaurant to try to better understand just how drastic the impact of the closure had been.
So I stopped at a bunch of businesses on the north end. They said about 30 to 35% business was lost. Down here, like 70%.
A lot more, yeah, because you can't really get here very easily.
Yeah.
The other ones are easier to get to.
We're like to get our bill and go, and we can't. We want to get. We want to go. It's the sun's going down, and we can.
You live over here as well?
In Cayucas, California.
Okay, that's south,
35
right?
miles south.
Okay, cool. So during the 3 years the thing was closed up, were almost all your guests from like LA that way, or?
Pretty much, yeah. Some come from the valley and so forth, but yeah, a lot of Europeans too.
Kind of surprised like how fast everything seems to just be recovering here. What was your name?
Jacob.
David. Nice to meet you. So I think that about sums it up in terms of what business has been like during the road closure. For about 3 years, every day at that restaurant, there were like 10 people or so showing up. Now it's like 60 to 80 each night. And gallery slash gift shop over here. It's the Ragged Point Inn. They've got a whole hotel operation over there. Same story really, but the miracle is that here and a lot of other businesses in the area have managed to stay open.
As you reach the very southern end of Big Sur, the landscape becomes flatter and those rocky cliffs start to feel like a distant memory. We wanted to stop by the Piedras Blancas lighthouse, but it turned out it was already closed for the day.
Suicide awareness for veterans.
Brother, that's amazing to hear about.
Thanks.
Cool. All the way from Wisconsin.
Yep, from
Cool.
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
did Route 66 down to Santa Monica and then coming up.
No way.
So, yeah, this is our...
Okay, veterans, appreciate you.
Oh,
Appreciate
thanks,
you,
man.
sir.
Hey, this is wonderful.
4,000 miles. How many days, how many months?
12 days. 12 days.
Only 12 days. Okay, okay, cool.
Then we go
All
up
right.
to Big Sur, and I'd like to see the redwoods and Yosemite on the way
Yeah,
back.
I'm so happy I found you because
I'm blessed, man.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah, brother.
have a great one, and
You too.
yeah, thanks. Think about the 1,000 veterans who commit suicide every month.
Okay, now I've driven a little bit further down the road a little bit. Let me just point out really quick that this part of Big Sur looks completely different than any other part of Big Sur just because it's so flat. Check this out. These are called elephant seals. They live here. And I had never heard of the elephant seal before I was doing research for this trip. Never had seen one in my life or anything like that. Apparently I'm quite lucky. It says here that they actually spend most of their lives at sea and they just come to shore occasionally for various purposes: birth, mating, molting, and resting. They should be molting about now. It asks, have you ever seen a stranger animal here? Sure, they're not like other animals, but there's something super beautiful about these seals. And up close you can see that they're molting for sure. The males are actually at sea right now, so those would all be females. I was calling them guys, gals. Here's where the main party is though. Also kind of wild is that they only eat at sea, so they'll spend like 2, 3, maybe even 4 months not eating anything while they're on the beach here like this. Elephant seals, thousands of them up and down this beach. Amazing. And taking Highway 1, this place is mind-blowing to an extent that I can't put it into words other than by telling you that it's mind-blowing. You have to see it with your own eyes. There's no other way. This is Highway 1 right here. Literally a few meters or feet away, thousands of elephant seals. So my personal first time here in Big Sur absolutely exceeded anything I could have imagined. And driving down, not just seeing the beauty of the place, but actually learning about the recent stories of how people and businesses have been impacted by the 3-year road closure and then the reopening of it just 2 months ago was absolutely fascinating, also inspiring. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a like, all that kind of stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.